Let's talk about this with Toni Russo, who's an obesity nurse consultant, joins us. Very good afternoon to you, Toni.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. First of all, is this policy already largely in place anyway? And secondly, do you approve of the policy?
I don't approve of the policy. I think it's in place to an extent, but that's more to do with outcomes because you don't want people, smokers obviously have chest problems and people that are very heavy, it can affect things like joints, like the lady said a few minutes ago. But the thing is, you have to understand, it's a bit of a smokescreen, really. It's a bit like when they fiddle the unemployment figures to say fewer people are unemployed. So I think this is just a way of making the waiting list look smaller.
Because you're not technically on it because you've not been given a date.
That's right. And I think that, smokers as well, I mean, if you're talking about money, they're the people that pay the most tax. So arguably they should be at the top of the queue. But obviously I'm not suggesting that clinically. Yeah. But I think that, people that are carrying a lot of excess weight are costing us a lot of money as a state to keep them heavy. So it actually makes sense to get them well again. And if it's for a joint replacement, they're more likely to get back to work and be productive.
Well, except if they really want to be productive, want to get back to work, then surely one of the things they could do, and given one of the main reasons people need to have joint replacements is because of obesity. So if they're actually motivated, get back to work and get themselves healthy, they'll go, oh, OK, fair enough. I mean, that's a great motivation. You can't have that surgery until you've lost the weight. We're going to help you do it. I mean, seems to me to be a perfectly reasonable requirement. I remember certainly when I was looking at IVF, and I mean, I wasn't able to get anything on the NHS because I was over 40. Anyone just driving from Eastern Europe could just go and get it on the NHS, not a problem. But it seems reasonable to me. Sorry about paying all those taxes all those years. What was I thinking? But it was very, very clear. If you are massively underweight or overweight, your chances of benefiting from IVF are massively reduced. So it makes sense to say, no, you don't want a baby that much if you're not willing to lose the weight to give yourself the best fighting chance of IVF working. So maybe, this isn't something the NHS has spent its money on. I mean, it seems to me these are reasonable requirements where it is relevant to the health outcome. Where it isn't relevant, then it's no one's business, surely.
Well, I agree with you to an extent. I mean, there are some times, if you're having a hernia, for example, where being very heavy is really not going to help you. It's going to actually make the hernia repair fail. So I do think that needs to be taken into account. But everybody is if you talk to the average person that's carrying a lot of extra weight, they don't want to be overweight. They want to lose that weight. But it's been described in the past, our bodies are set up to fight us losing weight. They throw off all sorts of hormones that make us hungry. And it's a bit like giving an incentive and me saying to you, Julia, if I give you £1 million, will you hold your breath for 10 minutes? It's a real incentive, but you physically can't do it. And I think that unless we're going to really look at the causes of obesity and support...
No, I'm sorry, but if I held my breath for 10 minutes, I'd die. You can lose weight. We know that because millions of people have done it. I've done it. Other people have done it. People who are listening to this have done it. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, look, there's a big difference, isn't there? Like, shall we give this liver transplant to John, who's still drinking 2 bottles of whiskey a day, or to Jane, who used to be an alcoholic but has now given up booze for 10 years? Seems to me to be a clear choice, and it's not even a moral choice, just a practical choice. This person is not going to abuse the liver of somebody who's died, which could have gone to someone else. I mean, you can lose weight.
That's happening already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that makes sense. But the key thing is, if you can't recover from your knee operation or whatever it is because you are overweight, then helping people to lose weight is a good thing. This idea that somehow being overweight is a disease, it's a load of nonsense. It is hard to get motivated to lose weight, and it is, God, it's boring as well. However, millions of people manage it. There are plenty of diets that work. The Fast 800, the one pushed by Michael Mosley, absolutely 100% works. I've done it. I'm doing it right now. It absolutely works. It is an absolute nonsense to say that people can't lose weight.
People can lose weight, and most of the people that I look after in my practice have been tremendously successful weight loss. People have lost 10 stone and more, but they generally regain and some interest. So you lose 5 stone, you regain 6. That's because our bodies fight us. So even if
that's because they don't maintain a healthy diet.
Because it's very difficult to maintain it.
It is difficult, but they're still able to do it. It's like people saying it's impossible to give up smoking, apart from the fact that millions of people have given up smoking perfectly successfully.
I think smoking in some ways is easier to give up because it's either you smoke or you don't.
Yeah.
Whereas with eating, you've still got to eat. And
you still have to eat, but you don't have to eat a jumbo-sized family pack of pretzels and a jumbo pizza every day. I mean, we all make choices. People have a right to smoke and have a right, in my view, and a right to be as fat as they want or as thin as they want. I don't care. I believe in bodily autonomy. But when NHS resources are paid for by our taxes, it is perfectly reasonable to say, if you're not willing to do what you need to do to get healthy, I'm not sure why everyone else should bother.
I think we need to support them. I mean, you could equally say
we are supporting them. We're saying we'll give you a 12-week diet plan and help you and give you support and counselling to help you lose weight before you have your operation, but you can't have the operation otherwise. That's going
to cost a lot of money and a lot of staff time to support that. We might just as well ban cyclists because they're more likely to fracture bones or get chest infections.
No, because there is a good to being a cyclist. Well, apart from the fact they're very irritating and don't have lights on and go through red lights. Apart from that, there is a health aspect to that, isn't there? I mean, there's different. Whereas being obese, it doesn't have a good side.
It doesn't have a good side. And there's definitely a personal responsibility thing. You know, even people that have weight loss surgery, they still have to think about what they do. Yeah. But there are a lot of people where it becomes a bit of a vicious cycle because they're immobile, so they can't exercise. They probably can't get to decent
I'm sorry.
shop.
You know, no, you're an expert on this. You do not need to exercise to lose weight. It helps and it'll help your body generally, but you don't need to exercise to lose weight. You just need to eat less food.
You need to eat the right foods.
You need to eat less food. And you need to eat the right food, but
not
less
necessarily.
food. If you eat 4,000 calories of the right food, you're still going to put on weight.
Well, you will, but our bodies treat different food substances differently.
I know, but I'm just saying, I mean, I just think we need to stop treating this as some sort of impossible thing to deal with. I mean, I'm not even a fan of Ozempic. I certainly don't want Ozempic on the public purse. I certainly don't want, bariatric surgery on the public purse because, as I said, I'm happy to take people into my spare room, lock them in. I will feed them a calorie-controlled diet, and I can guarantee you, for half the price it costs the NHS to give this surgery and this treatment, I can help them lose weight.
Well, it's an idea, but I don't think it's one that's going to be embraced long term.
But it would work better and it'd be cheaper. Toni Russo, obesity nurse consultant, thank you very much for that. Claire, I doubt you've ever struggled with your weight. You've got, you're a very slim and healthy looking soul. We're got this thing in this country, in America. It's almost like, alcoholism is a disease, being obese is a disease. It's, there's no doubt at all. There is a mental health thing. I'm really aware that my husband could just go, oh, we've had a good time on holiday, open bar, restaurants to galore. Yeah, need to shed a few of the Christmas pounds. And he just eats less for a few weeks and loses the weight. And I look at him, just like, I hate him. I hate him. I mean, he can do that. I think women are often more emotional eaters, more than men. And it is hard, and it is really hard in getting started. But that's where there are diets like the Fast 800 where you could just get really motivated very quickly and it will the weight will drop off you and it will work. And if you stick to a healthy diet, you won't put weight back on. It's really that simple. When people go, when people say, well, that diet doesn't work for me, but you didn't follow it then, did you?
No, exactly. And they don't. And that's the point. They follow it for 24 hours, get bored, it's a bit difficult, it's not as attractive as a massive bar of chocolate.
So hungry now.
But broccoli is better. I had that last night.
We had fish and broccoli for dinner last night, and we all sat there going, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah,
just sitting there going...
It's really difficult. It isn't as interesting, and you want all of the nice food that you have on holiday, the food and drink and the puddings. But
I would eat. I'd eat a kebab or a pizza or a burger every single day of my life. It was up to me. But I also would like to live past the age of 60.